push. Like, you're contracting and you're going through it.
Yeah.
But your body is just still so tight. Like, everything is so... it's just going... Yeah.
Remember when?
The second one, it was like... courtesy push.
We'll just pretend like I'm not holding him in.
See? I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just a total... and then I remember them saying that because they were taking one. I was like, I am not having a C-section if I can't help it.
Yeah.
And I did. I went straight to my core of vocal training. I was like, breathe from my tailbone. I got it.
Yeah.
You know, they told me that. And I remember it was on my report card for that class. The way I got graded on just the class in general. You were single sheets.
Yeah.
And then you ended up getting a report card that had those grades. But from each class, you got almost a breakdown of
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
And one of them was like, you need to learn to breathe from your tailbone. And I remember Matt going, what fucking kind of school are you going to? Like, what does this even mean?
Yeah.
Well, it paid
the best
off.
school, and I was able to give birth.
And I pushed that baby out, and his head was perfect.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Gray's, they had me hold Gray in for a little while because the doctor wasn't coming.
Oh.
Because
what?
Yeah.
How?
I know. They were like, he's coming, and I was like, and I knew I could push one, and he was coming out. And they're like, the doctor has to be in the room. I had to hold him in. And I kept looking at Elle, because she was my doula.
Way.
I had
How do you do
25
that?
minutes. I held him in.
You stop it. You can't.
And I kept
do
asking
that.
Elle, I'm telling you. We'll get Elle on the program because she's a doula and she's incredible. But she's like the most serene, beautiful human being. Anyway, but she was rubbing my head and I was like, is he suffocating? Like, he's in there. And she's like, he's fine. He's fine. I promise you he's fine. But the nurse didn't want to or couldn't sign the paperwork. And if the baby's born, whoever's in the room claims that birth. And the nurse was like, I shouldn't do this. And so, because we had already called the doctor, but it took her because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. And the Olympics were on, which, by the way, was awesome. I had 3 days in the hospital, 2 full days before I actually gave birth. Because I went in, and then anyway, it was great. But it was great. That's weird to say, but it was having such a horrific birth with Cece, and then Gray's was so easy, and we watched the Olympics, and they let me eat food. I was on, like, a crazy-ass drug, which is fentanyl.
What?
Yeah, they gave me fentanyl first, because they were like, do you want fentanyl? And I was like, doesn't that like, kill you? And they're like, no, we only give you a little bit. Da-da. So I was on fentanyl for, like, the first day.
Why?
And I was like... It was great.
Why were you on fentanyl?
Because they didn't want to put me on... They didn't want to give me the epidural yet. Because it was too soon. I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And so they gave me a drug so that I wasn't in pain.
Damn.
It was awesome. And then... So we watched the Olympics and ate sandwiches. And, like, it was beautiful. And then the time was coming and the epidural went in, which is... the scariest thing ever in your entire life ever.
Really?
I hate it.
Do you know what was worse for me was
so
getting my water broke.
Oh,
that was worse for me. I had it happen to all 3 kids.
Really?
And the epidural, I don't even know what's happening. I was just
God.
this, and
See?
I didn't pay any attention.
Yeah.
Like it hurt worse. I have very tiny veins, and they get blown often when I draw blood or whatever.
Yeah, that's awful.
So with my middle child, the nurse came in to give me my IV.
Yeah.
And she blew my vein.
Oh my God.
No,
bro.
like 3 times.
Oh my God.
She was like, I am so sorry. I am mortified right now that I'm doing it. She's like, I'm not even going to do this to you again. I can't believe this is happening. I'm calling the anesthesiologist. He's going to have to come in and give you your IV. I feel horrible. So the anesthesiologist came in, hooked up my IV. I was black and blue. I think she did both.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was bruised out of my arm. That hurt worse than the epidural.
Oh, see, I think the epidural for me is more scary.
Oh, see, to me, that doesn't bother me as much as knowing that they're sticking a big, like, sewing needle up with, like, a hook on it up my vajay. But it hurts.
Oh,
so, like,
Dr. Carbone did it with his fingers.
Oh, no.
He stuck his hand inside. Charlie was like, when I saw his entire hand go inside of you, I was like, what the fuck?
No, they had like It's a long stick and has a hook. It's like a little sharp. And so they're going up, but the doctor's got, one nurse has one leg, the doctor has the other, like this, and with his other hand he's going in. So I'm like this, and they're going up there and snagging it. And just like,
what the
and
fuck?
that's before epidural. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That happened.
Isn't that crazy
all
that we
3
have
times.
so many different birth experiences?
Don't you remember you called me when I was in Panama? And I was like, I'm getting an enema. They're giving me an enema. And you were like, I'll call you back.
I don't remember. I was telling Eldest, though, like before I had kids, I was not a very good friend.
Yes, you were.
Because I just didn't understand. And so, like, even with, we've talked about, well, it actually isn't in the first episode, but, like, I didn't understand, you're 6 months pregnant. What's the fucking problem? Do a kick line. We have a 3.5 minute swing dance to do. You're gonna have to fight. What's wrong, Brooke?
Why?
Like,
yeah.
Get it together. And so I didn't understand, like, no, stop, go again. Stop, go again. And Brooke was like, because she was so pregnant during
well,
that
but
show.
you were also so wonderful to still have me be a part of the production.
But yeah, I mean that, like, I with other people too, like, I didn't realize what it was. You just don't know until you have a kid, and it sounds so dumb and like oversaid or whatever, but it really is. Like, you just don't know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Kids.
But yeah, we have all these different like birth experiences that are so crazy. One of my favorites though is Dr. Carbone. I went in, and Elle, who is a doula, she had just had Sienna, her firstborn, and she was like, "Do you want me, can I come down?" She wanted me to give birth in the ocean. She's like, "Well, I'll do a water birth," and I'm like, "Fuck you, no way, it's not happening." So, but she was talking about, because she's a doula for a long time with these women, and so she like cooks their placenta and all that stuff, and like makes food out of it, whatever, and she does all of it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I went into Dr. Carbone, and I do not do these things. I barely recycle, which I should, and I do, but it's fine, whatever. But would you see how we go talking to the microphone? We talk to the microphone like it's our people.
Yeah.
Like we have fans. So I go to Dr. Carbone's office with Charlie, and we're going through the birth, like we have to make a birth plan and all that stuff. And he's like, "All right, so this and this and this, and okay, and this is what's gonna happen, da 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 da, and great. It was gonna happen in like a week or two." And he was like, "Do you have any questions?" And I was like, "Do I have to eat the placenta?" And he was like, "Do you want to eat the placenta?" And I was like, "No." And he was, "Then don't." And I was like, I didn't understand that it was like,
not
like
a
you
thing.
Don't just save it, and he doesn't like feed it to you while you're like after, like you're trying to get her to latch, and he's like, like I just didn't understand.
I remember seeing it in the tray.
Oh, I didn't see. Yeah.
Like after.
Yeah.
You know how they're.
Yeah.
Wiping the baby down, and you're looking at the baby, and they're all down there doing all the things to get you back,
like sewing you up and
normal, and then you give birth to the placenta. And
I remember having to push for the placenta. But do you know that, like,
it just gags? That shit just gags me. I don't know why.
It's your extra insides coming out.
I felt like I just did this, and I gotta do it again.
Yeah.
And then it's like in this, like.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like a tray, like a...
It's a little amoeba.
And so different how the process is one way in the United States, or even in different parts of the United States. It can be different within that. But then also compared to another country, I gave birth to my first 2 kids with the same doctor in the same hospital, in the same wing. I mean, like, everything besides... the whole process was exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then having birth with Kingston in Panama was just a totally different situation. Like, I got epidurals for all of them. I was induced with all of them because I had some, like, cervix things going on. And the first 2, I was given epidural. Then they gave me a catheter. They're like, "You're not going anywhere. You're in the bed. Like, you don't get up." In Panama, they were like, "Here's your epidural. Now get up and walk around."
Didn't they make you, like, sit on a ball and stuff?
Yeah, they made me walk around.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah, I can't feel my legs.
But I could. It was so centralized. It was localized, like right in the region. So I could walk.
Yeah.
Like with Kai, I couldn't even move my legs.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the bed, and I couldn't, if I wanted to, I could not move my legs.
Yeah.
Then with 7, I could move my legs. I was like, oh, I can, but I was really high from it. I wonder if the anesthesiologist felt bad because she blew like 3 of my veins.
She gave you fentanyl? She probably did.
So something happened because I was feeling real good.
That was me for a good day and a half.
Yeah, I remember looking at Matt going, I am high.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but I could move my legs. And she came in to give me the catheter. And I was like, no, I don't think it's kicked in all the way yet because I can move my legs. She was like, do you feel this? And she like stuck her fingers at me. And I was like, no, I don't. She's like, all right, put that catheter in.
Yeah.
Panama, they had me walk around. You know, I could go to the bathroom if I need to go to the bathroom. And after I gave birth, in the States, the epidural's wearing off. The nurse doesn't leave until you've used the restroom, correct?
Yeah.
She helps you to the toilet.
Well, no, Charlie did for me,
well, a nurse was in there for both of my kids. Like, no, the nurse is in there. She waits until she hears you go potty.
Yeah.
And then she helps you with your ice pack, like for you know, made out of a glove.
Yeah. Insert here.
Yeah, Jesus, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Anyway, and then Mosey's on, and you're in bed, right? In Panama, they had me walking with an epidural, ready to give birth, but when I have to urinate, they have to stay with you. The nurses were there.
Yeah.
Instead of putting on the toilet, which I could completely go and sit.
Because you were already walking the hall.
What?
Yeah.
No, they had you get into the bed.
And they put a pan
moved
under
you from one bed to the other bed. They put a bedpan underneath me and then stood there on either side of me while I laid on my back with a bedpan underneath me. And so I was waiting, and I was starving at this point. So Matt went to McDonald's because it was the only thing open, like over by Point
They serve
Pacifica.
fried chicken, by the way, at McDonald's in Panama.
But it's the nastiest shit. You think McDonald's is bad here?
I loved it.
It is the soggiest, saddest situation over there. And so, but I didn't care because I was so hungry.
Yeah.
So he literally comes in as I start peeing. So the 2 nurses are standing on either side of me, just talking like it's whatever. And I'm standing there like, I have to pee. I'm gonna have to like pee.
How do you even go like How do you?
It's embarrassing anyway.
Yeah.
So now I'm peeing and it's going all over my butt.
No.
But into the pan because it's underneath me, right?
Did they wipe you at least?
Well, I don't even remember anything at that point. I blacked out because Matt walked in, and the last thing I remember going is, I'm peeing in a bedpan, and he was like, I'll be in the hallway with the food.
I'll wait here.
Soggy sad
Do you
food.
think that it was anything because it was like the gringos come in and like, I don't know, like it felt.
I don't know.
Although the cool thing was that you could have, they had a curtain and they had a family room attached. So like my mom was in the family room.
Giving birth?
No, my mom had already
No, but in recovery.
No, during everything except for the birthing room.
Oh, really?
So she was in there the whole time. So even when my epidural didn't take, even when I was having a hard time, Charlie had like 9 cups of coffee, and somebody was like, you got to go sit outside for a little while because you're being aggressive with us. Like, you're talking too fast. And so they sent my mom in.
We're frightened.
You need to go. You're a 6'3" Korean man. I don't understand this. And so my mom just opened the curtain and came in and sat with me. And it was also incredibly special for her because you know, with my sister, she couldn't.
Yeah.
Because you're in the waiting room, which is fine. But she was a curtain only between us. So she was there the whole time. And then she slept in there overnight until I went in and gave birth. They woke her up and said, she's going to go in and give birth. And my mom just waited. It was only about 30. No, it wasn't. With Cece, it was like 45 minutes in there because I had to push and then the crazy thing. But when I came out, my mom was right there, and then they took me to like this big, huge room that was then an extra family room attached.
We had the same thing.
Yeah, because your family's supposed to come and stay with you for your first like night or two, and so there's beds in an attached curtain room where your family just stays.
Yeah, in the States, Matt slept on a recliner that kind of extended out into a makeshift bed.
Yeah, but that's like. They had their own room, and you know that was
with Kingston too. We had, and it was just us. Well, you came, and but it's not like we don't have any family there.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't have like a family. It's interesting too because in the States, the room you labored in, you also delivered in.
Oh, I didn't in San Francisco.
Oh,
yes, I did. Yes,
but in Panama they wheeled you.
Did. Yeah, we went to
delivery room.
A delivery, like really a delivery room with all the lights and the things.
Yeah, it was like a
whatever.
surgical. Yeah. It looks like when you go into surgery.
But I think it's because they do a lot of C-sections. Oh, I don't know if that's